So the banners come out today. It is the rerun banner with Kokomi and Ganyu. The 4 stars are actually pretty solid. Sucrose and Singcho, that's honestly great. Dori, we don't know. I mean, we know enough now, but you know, in terms of the other two are really, really good as far as we know of from past characters, right? Right now, for where we are in Genshin, I mean, of course, get whoever you want, you know, but Ganyu, I feel like it's not going to fit too well into all like the Dendro stuff, considering that Cryo doesn't have any reaction with Dendro, but she's still honestly a great unit from what I've seen, when I've saw. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I've been using Cryo a lot within the land of Dendro, Sumeru, so honestly, I can't really even count her out because I use Cryo all the time. So, and honestly, when it comes to Ganyu, I don't feel like she ever like lost any value or gained any value. I know Ayaka came out, and you know, that was like, she came out afterwards, so people started using her. And people pretty much deem Ayaka as like the better Cryo unit, but at the end of the day, I feel like just because another character may come out that does something a bit differently, I don't think it takes away from the older character. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Ganyu is still where Ganyu was and will always be, but there's just more options now. But more options doesn't mean the character becomes bad. You know what I mean? I mean, you may not use the character as much as you would before, but I feel like her spot is still solidified as it always was. But now we just have more options to choose from. That's a great banner as well. And then there's also the Kokomi banner. Now, in the beginning, when the Kokomi came out, a lot of people despised her, you know, thought she was just like garbage or crap, you know, just like whatever, easy skip, right? And I guess maybe at the time there wasn't that much of a need for a healer, I'd assume. But I feel like people got confused with her kit in terms of what it was meant for. So correct me if I'm wrong on this one. I feel like this is kind of where the confusion came in with Kokomi. But before I even get into that, I just feel like the Genshin community, or not everybody, but you know, a lot of us expect to see big damage numbers with characters, and when we don't see that, we think the character is trash, you know, and we just go, you know, easy skip, you know, easy skip. If people don't see big damage numbers with a character, they just think the character is not good, you know. Not all of us, obviously, but that's kind of like the general consensus, right? So when we don't see that, it's an easy skip. And I think that's kind of what happened with Kokomi. But also, I think it was kind of confusing to like newer players or like, you know, recent players as well, but even like veteran players. But Hayaverse kind of made her kit a bit confusing when you look at it from the face value, because as you can see right there in the top right hand corner, it says her ascension stat is hydro damage bonus. Now, anybody would think, okay, if they're giving her an ascension stat that's hydro damage bonus, clearly that means that she's supposed to deal damage, right? If she scales off of that. I mean, not scales off of, but if she ascends with that, right? So that was kind of the confusing thing about her kit when I saw it in the beginning. I was wondering why it was hydro bonus damage. Not to mention that her C6, yes, 5-star character, her C6 was 40% more hydro damage bonus for 4 seconds. But despite all of that, her passive, one of her passives is she loses 100% in crit rate. So that's what kind of had people confused. I think that was like still one of the biggest things where it was like, what the heck, you know what I mean? So minus 100% crit rate, right? She has, but she has so many hydro damage bonus attributes, you know, hydro damage bonus here, there, you know, her constellation, her talent, her passive. But actually understanding it further, it's more of just something to compensate for the loss of the crit rate. So that's exactly what it was. And she actually does some pretty decent damage even without the crit rate. But either way, I think that the main thing about Kokomi that we all know already, which is obvious, is the healing. You know, the healing is really good. The healing, and then being able to reset the cooldown and whatnot. So I think she really did blossom as time went along, and she only got better with Dendro as well. But honestly, I'm not gonna lie, there were plenty of times where I've had friends and people that I play with as well, who've just really shown the beauty of Kokomi, not just visually, but in terms of gameplay. You know, I mean, like fighting Senora and having you know, like somebody who really knows what they're doing with Kokomi on the team, we can just attack Senora without even having to do anything else. We can just attack because we're being healed by Kokomi the entire time. So I feel like she just has a lot of sacrifices that allow her to heal so much, and that's the whole point in her kit. And maybe back then there wasn't that much use of a healer, you know, I assume, or that there was other healers to pick from as well. But especially now, and I feel like even back then, she's a pretty good unit. But I can understand why people would not want her even now, just because maybe they don't feel like they need this in their kit. You know, or they have Zhongli and they just always have a shield anyways, or they just don't get hit. So it's good because Kokomi is also an insane healer, but at the same time, she can apply off-field Hydra, which means she pretty much has 2 different roles as one unit, which allows you to have a lot more leeway with the rest of your team. So you can pick somebody else that's totally different than what you would need from Kokomi, because she fills up 2 roles. So once again, I can totally understand why people want to skip the Ganyu and Kokomi banner because they want the brand new characters. We have Kusanali coming up in a couple of patches, 3.2, and of course Sino Nilo coming up as well. So I understand, you know, wanting to just skip this banner and just wait for the new one. But honestly, if you don't have Kokomi, like myself as well, it's not that bad of a pull. Honestly, you know, I mean, I know it's right before the new characters, but it's not that bad of a pull just because of all the Hydra application and the healing as well, and it's just gonna kind of help you out when it comes to danger reactions. Now, as far as this goes, of course, this is Ganyu's signature weapon, and this is Kokomi's signature weapon as well. So you have Everlasting Moonglow and Amos Bow. Now, if you don't know, Amos Bow can be gotten on the standard banner as well. Doesn't mean that you'll get it, but you can get it on a standard banner. And Everlasting Moonglow is just not the greatest weapon overall. Of course, it'd be best in slot for Kokomi, but, you know, even still, it's just not the greatest thing to spin your primos on, you know? So this banner as a whole, it's just not that great. But in terms of the 4 stars, you have Rust, which is good for your Emiya. Sacrificial Sword is great. And then Dragon's Bane is pretty good too. And even Phonia's Great Sword for energy. But I just don't feel like it warrants your primos, you know, like I don't think you should really wish on this one, but that's just my etiquette, my take on it. Just not a good banner to even try on, honestly. So I would not do that if I were you. But yeah, that'll be all. I'm going to be wishing on Kokomi's banner. I'm going to go ahead and try and get Kokomi. Zhongli did not come home, so that sucks, but hey, we'll go ahead and get Kokomi. I'll probably be live streaming that later on Twitch today, and we'll go ahead and get that. I'm like 30 pity away, so that'd be cool. We'll try out Dora if we get her. If not, that's fine. You know, we can check her out later. And then, of course, like I said, Sucrose and Xingqiu, great units to have as well. So, but that'll do it for me. I wish you guys good luck on your pulls once again. And I will catch you guys in the next one.